you're doing well. I am doing well myself. My name is Lona Kerubo. I am a public health officer by profession, and I'm excited today because you're going to talk about a very interesting topic. As you can see, we're going to talk about family planning methods. And welcome. Make sure that you engage with us. Make sure that you check. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm sorry I didn't welcome you earlier. Feel free, you can be able to look at other videos and like them, subscribe to our channel, because if you subscribe, you're going to help in creating more content like this. Also, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, because if you like it, it's going to be recommended to other people as well. So what is family planning? So family planning is an intervention that is taken to avoid getting pregnant. So after you've had sex or before, you can decide that you are going to take a family planning method. So it's not only for those who want to start a family. If you're engaging in sexual activity, you definitely need family planning. So let's go to the methods that are used to family plan. So let's see the 5 major methods of family planning. The first one, we have natural methods. The second one, we have hormonal methods. The third one, we have barrier methods. Fourth, we have gels and spermicides. And the final, we have the surgical methods. So we're going to start with the natural methods, and the first one is abstinence. It is the most simplest of all. If you abstain from sex, you definitely are not going to get pregnant, as easy as that. Then we go to the second one, which is withdrawal, and your male partner should withdraw from sex before ejaculation. So if there are no sperms involved, you definitely are not going to get pregnant. So also it's very easy, it's doable. However, if you are a premature ejaculator, it won't work for you, because you won't be able to know when you're ejaculating. Also, we have those who are not sensitive enough to know exactly when the ejaculation. Also, this method will not work for you. Otherwise, it requires discipline, and if you have that, you're good to go. You definitely can go with the withdrawal method. So the third one is the calendar method, and we all have used this at one point or another, because it involves tracking your cycle and finding out the days that you are fertile and the days that you're going to start your periods. So this method only works if you have a regular cycle. That means if you have a 26 day to 32 day cycle. If you have a shorter or a longer cycle, this method won't work for you. So for the calendar method, you have 28 days to 32 days on your cycle. So the first 7 days, you're definitely safe, because you have your periods, and some of the days you're safe. So the first 7 days, you're definitely safe. Then from the 12th day to the 19th day, you won't be able to be safe, because that is when the egg is released from the ovary, up the oviduct, down to the uterus. So that means you won't be able to be safe, because the egg is being released. Then from the 19th day to the final day of your cycle, that means you will be safe. You're free to engage in sexual activity without having any protection. So you have to track down. You can use the calendar, which is easier. You mark on your calendar. We have the flow apps that have come now that are way easier to use to track. Yes, that you can use the flow app, or if you're traditional, you can use the bead app, the beads, where you track with using the beads and moving the bead each day, as long as you don't forget to do that. The advantage of using the calendar method is that it is natural. You don't have to worry about any hormones. It doesn't have any hormonal effects involved. And a disadvantage is that it is not 100% effective compared to other methods. You can do better methods of family planning. Just to add up on the any natural method that you're using, you can take your temperatures. If you want it to be effective enough, you can take your temperatures during your cycle. So when the temperatures are high, you can combine with the calendar. For example, if they're high, you know that those are the days that you're very fertile and you're likely to get pregnant. And when the temperatures are low, that means that those are some of the safe days that you have. Also, you can track your milk or your mucus, your vaginal discharge. That is why it is like mucus if you've never seen it. If it is thicker, you know that definitely it is thicker and wet, you know that you're not safe on those days. But if it is dry, you know that you're safe on those days. So let's now talk about the barrier methods. And on the barrier methods, it involves using a barrier. And in this case, we are talking about condoms. And we have the two types of condoms, which is the male condom and the female condoms. Both are effective. It is one of what known as the most effective. That is 100%. You're 100% sure that you're definitely not going to get pregnant unless there is a breakage or a leakage on it. So make sure when you're using it properly. You know how to wear it correctly and avoid any breakage. And if that is the case, you are definitely going to be 100% sure. The advantages of using this is that you are sure it is effective 100%, like I've said. Also, besides the pregnancy, it helps to prevent other things like sexual transmitted diseases or any other diseases. So you will be safer that way. The disadvantages, like I've said, it could break or maybe leak at some point, but it's very on rare cases. And if this happens, you are encouraged to go and take a plan B, that is an emergency pill, in case that happens. On to the hormonal methods. We have the implant, we have the pills, we have the emergency pills, we have the injectables, and then we have others that are not commonly used, like the patches and the rings. The first one that we're going to talk about, pills. And I've not said emergency pills, I've said pills. So pills are just tablets, just like any other tablets. You're given for your daily use. So you're supposed to take it on a daily basis. There are two types. There are ones that you use from day 1 to the 21st day. And the second one is the one that you use from the first day to the 28th day. However, the one with the 28 days does not, the fourth week, that is the last 7 tablets are not for hormonal or family planning, they're for iron. So that will help you during a period, of course, to replenish in terms of iron and supplements in your body. But the 21 pills are for purely family planning. And the reason why we have two types is because one is given to breastfeeding mothers and the other one is given to the rest of the people. This is because it involves, this hormonal family planning involves having hormones in them. And the two hormones that we know are progesterone and estrogen. So in this case, women who are breastfeeding need estrogen for breastfeeding, for the production of milk. So they won't have to be given a hormonal method that will not be able to interfere with the estrogen so that they can be able to breastfeed. So in this case, they're given the one with ions to help them. You are supposed to take it on a daily basis without failure. And to help you with this, you have to set an alarm or maybe associate it with something that you do on a daily basis so as not to forget. But in case you forget, if in case you forget today and remember tomorrow, not the exact time, make sure that you take the one that you missed yesterday and then you continue with the cycle. If you've missed a 3-day pill, you forget about the 2 pills that you've forgotten, then you start from where you have remembered. However, in this case, you have to wait for 7 days for it to be effective, for it to be in the system again. So also, when you start using this method, for the first 7 days, it is not guaranteed. You're supposed to use a barrier or use any other or avoid sex, but after 7 days, you're good to go. If you forget, that makes it ineffective because you have already broken the barrier. So you have to again start from where you start 7 days. You give it a head start of 7 days, and then after 7 days, you're good to go. You can be able to continue with the cycle the way it is. You can always go to the doctor to get another pack after every month, or you can pick whatever months that you want. On to the other one, which is the implants. So the implants are small rods that are inserted and on your arm, underneath your arm. So it's not a very tedious procedure, it's just a 5-minute procedure, and the rods contain hormones, of course. So it goes for 3 years. For 3 years and the 5 years. So if you need the 5-year one, they're going to be 2 rods. So it is highly effective, it is easy to install and easy to uninstall. Also fertility, you can return back to fertility immediately. Once you remove it, you're able to conceive at any point. Of course, there are other issues that are associated with it, like because it is hormonal, you're definitely going to have a little bit of side effects. The bleeding is going to be inconsistent. You're also going to have maybe headaches. It is associated with weight gains, but otherwise it is very effective. On the implants, we're also going to talk about the intrauterine device, the IUD, which is made of copper. That means it is not hormonal. It is basically a barrier that is inserted through your vagina up through your uterus. So the main aim is to avoid making of the wall after the walls of the uterine from forming to support a pregnancy. So majorly you cannot be able to conceive. So it is one of the most effective methods of family planning. It goes for a very long time. Yeah, we have 10 years, 12 years, and it does not have any hormonal effects like the other hormonal methods. On to the advantages of using the IUD is that it is very effective, almost 100%. It is simple and easy, does not require any maintenance. You don't have to remember anything. It is long term. Also can be used by any that does not have any age limit. I mean, any lady can use it. Also, breastfeeding mothers, those are breastfeeding, because it's non-hormonal, does not involve any hormonal changes, no severe bleeding or anything. But on the disadvantages now, we have cramping. You may have severe or really heavy cramping. Also, you have a risk about 2% of having ectopic pregnancies. Not very often, but that can happen also. The next one is emergency pills, and emergency pills are taken in terms of emergency, underline the word emergency, not for any regular day or whatever, whenever you feel like it is suitable to you. In case of an emergency, and in this case we're talking about rape, or maybe you've used a condom and it has broken, that is when you use emergency pills. So you can get them over the counter at any time, but it is not for regular use or everyday use because it won't be effective. The thing about it is you have to use it within 72 hours. The earlier you use it, the better it is. On the injectables, we have the most common one, which is known as the depot. The depot shot is an injection that is given on the thigh and is given after every 3 months. Once you have it, after you are safe for 3 months and maybe a week more, but after a week you will not be safe. Also, there are some that are given and then you go with them home. You can be able to inject yourself at any time. So after every 3 months you have to go back to your injection. The advantages of using hormonal method is that it is very simple. You don't have to always remember or remind yourself to be able to take it after every. It is long term and is known to be very, very effective, some of them almost to 100%. And the disadvantages is that it is hormonal, so definitely it will affect your body in different ways, and different bodies respond differently to these hormones. So you have to liaise with your doctor so that you're able to understand the best hormonal method for you. Of course, you'll be able to, some may experience weight gain, some of course mood swings because of the hormones, of course some irregular bleeding because the hormones interfere with the cycle. So that means you're going to have either no bleeding at all, or you're going to have less bleeding than you used to bleed, or more bleeding, or sometimes a little bit of cramping, but the symptoms are totally normal. If you have severe headaches or severe extreme symptoms, you may consider going back to your doctor and discussing another method of family planning. On to using the gels and spermicide. A gel is definitely, just like the word suggests, it's like a gel. It's bought over the counter and you apply on your penis or penile. This works in ways that it changes the pH of the vagina. So by doing that, it's going to kill the sperms before they swim or fertilize the egg. So basically, you just have to apply it before sex, and then you are safe to go. The only issue is that it may not be 100% effective, but it works. Also, you know what happens for the ladies. You know that what happens if you change the pH of your vagina, you are susceptible to vaginal infections. So let's talk about the surgical methods. The surgical methods are permanent, where you undergo surgery. Either the lady can go for tubal ligation, where the tubes, that is the oviducts, are tied or cut, so no eggs are produced, no eggs are coming to the uterus, so there is no fertilization. Or the male can go for vasectomy, where the tube that produces some sperms is tied or cut. So you won't be able to produce sperms, so you cannot be able to fertilize an egg. To sum up everything, family planning is your own choice, and it highly depends on your body. You must understand how your body works, how you feel during your periods or whatever, so that you may be able to recognize if there's anything wrong with your body. As much as we may say one method is effective or another is not effective, it entirely depends on how your body receives it. So some are effective, but your body can totally reject it and shut down totally, like the IUD. So make sure that you liaise with your doctor in whatever family planning method that you're using, so that you're able to understand the best that works for you and go with the best. If you have reached this far on this video, thank you so much. If you have any queries or any discussions that you have with regards to this topic or public health in general, you can reach me through the number that is on the description box. And also, please make sure that you have subscribed and also make sure that you also engage with us in the comment section. Write to us so that we know what is it that you like about this video, what other videos do you want to know, or what other information would you like to see on this channel. That being said, see you next time. Bye bye.